impacts their families, it impacts their children. At some point, they've got to turn loose of that, right?
Absolutely. I think for myself, I try to control the situation. I know you guys have said you want to keep your mother out of your life. And with my mother and my father, I tried to control the situation. There's plenty of times that I wanted to check out from my mother, my father facing rejection. But what I didn't realize is that was on my heart. Whether you guys cut her off or not, it's going to be on your heart. I could see it in each one of you guys' faces. You want her to win, but do we really trust the situation? And I think for me, I had to realize that I could still love my father and I could still love my mother, not necessarily what they were doing, but they're my mother and my father. And for me to let go and put boundaries in place. You know, my father's in prison right now. I visit him when I choose to. I have a good relationship with him, but there's days I don't want to talk to him. There's days that I feel resentment, I'm angry. There's days with my mother where I don't understand. And you guys have to be open with your feelings and trust the process. And I know that your mother wants to take the steps, but I also encourage you guys to take the steps in, you know, getting counseling and walking through your feelings, because it's going to carry over to your wives and also your children.
When you made the decision, and you talk about it in here, but I'll let you say it instead of me. When you made the decision to put yourself in foster care and get on a different path, what was your driving force? What were you moving away from, and what were you moving towards?
You know, unfortunately for me, I saw the surroundings, you know, abuse, drugs, all the things that I knew weren't right, and I didn't know what to do. My force was I wanted a better life. You know, I knew I was going to be in jail, I was going to be incarcerated, I was going to do a lot of the decisions that my mother and father did if I stayed in the same circumstances. So I didn't have the answers, but, you know, I just knew I wanted a better life, and I made the call to my high school coach, and from there it propelled me to live with 3 different families over a 4-year period in high school. Just really understanding myself, talking through my issues, because all the way at 27 is the first time I had a real conversation with my father. Saw him at 7, didn't see him again for 20 years. Had my first real conversation in federal prison with my father. So for so many years, high school graduation, playing in front of 20,000 fans, the scariest day of my life was having my first man-to-man conversation with my father, to let him know how he hurt me. And I spent a lot of days crying to myself, a lot of days wondering, you know, could I have a family? You know, could I raise a great family? Because, you know, all I saw was dysfunction. And I'm here to tell you, you can. I got a beautiful wife, I have a beautiful son who has both his parents. And you guys have the opportunity to do that with your kids. And I know that you guys are doing that now. But you also have to understand, my son is going to know that his grandfather is my father. And yes, he went to jail and he made bad choices. Your kids have to know who your byproducts of how great you guys are.
And that's always the hardest part, is like, I don't know how to tell my kids, you know, and I don't know how to set up the boundaries you were talking yet. Like, I just don't know what those are.
And we're going to talk about boundaries when we come back. Closed captioning provided by...
Hey, need fast heartburn relief? Zantac works in as little as 30 minutes. Nexium can take 24 hours. Zantac, no pill relieves heartburn faster.
Want to know what's coming up on Dr. Phil? Visit our website and subscribe to our email newsletter. You'll get weekly updates, life strategies, and exclusive video that you won't find anywhere else.
Plus, on drphil.com, you can see sneak previews of upcoming shows. Log on today.
We have added Ben Raymond, and we're talking about his book, Playing the Game Without a Coach. And the unique part of the setup of this book is that Ben put himself in foster care because he was in a toxic environment with toxic people and had a real good chance of going in a real self-destructive way, and he created a different path, and it has paid off for him.